Good morning. How are you guys? Happy Motivational Monday. I hope you guys are blessed. I'm going to start off the video by saying if you guys see, I'm going to do a separate video for that, okay? Never mind, I'll do a whole separate video for that. And let me start over. Hi guys. Happy Motivational Monday. So, you ever get messages from the Lord and you're like, God, why do you want me to say this particular message? Because if I say this message, I look like a whole hypocrite because I'm still working on this myself. And he does that a lot because then I can relate to you guys, right? But also it's a message for me too, right? There's a difference between, us working hard and receiving blessings through our hard work, and God using someone to bless you. Even when you're working, God still uses the people who support your business or, that employer to bless you, right? But because we work hard for it, we have no issues accepting that blessing. We just accept it because we're accustomed to it. We worked hard for it, etc. But then there's a trauma type of, one second guys, I have a very important call. 1 second. I had a very important phone call, but I'm so happy. Okay, so what was I saying? Okay. Usually I would ignore it, but this was a very important call. And guess what's so crazy? It actually confirmed exactly what I'm going to talk to you guys about, So that was a blessing that just came through, right? Over the phone. But that was a blessing that did not make me feel in a way that it was handed to me. Like I actually felt like, okay, I worked hard for this blessing. I'm getting this blessing and I deserve this blessing, So, and I played my part. Like I did what I had to do. So it's not like someone is just going out of their way and doing something for me. You know what I mean? So like I was saying, there's a difference between, that type of blessing and then God coming in and saying, I'm going to bless you with this person who's going to help you. And, because you did not specifically do something for that particular person to bless you, it's just something that God told them to do. Sometimes it can make you feel unworthy, but what happens is sometimes God will reward you and will bless you because you deserve it, right? And it's because of everything that you may have endured in your life. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys examples so you know where I'm coming from, because this is happening a lot to people. There's a lot of people who have been through trauma. Okay. And some of the traumas may have been that, maybe you were the black sheep, or maybe things were rubbed in your face, or every time someone did something to you, they threw it in your face, or, you were the kind of person that always got kicked out, let me give you one of my examples. Okay. So it's like, I've been kicked out of homes majority of my life. Okay. I got kicked out of a home a couple days after Christmas. I was 14 and my stuff was thrown in the hallway. And early 20s, my stuff was thrown in the hallway again, not the hallway, but a porch. And I was thrown on a porch, right? So because of that and me experiencing that and not really understanding why I went through that, and it was based off misunderstanding. Like there was no communication or anything to clarify anything. It was just assumptions, right? That imprinted in my heart. That was something that I will never forget, right? And because it's something that I'll never forget, although I've forgiven, it's something I'll never forget. That has always motivated me to always make sure that I have my own roof over my head, which means that I make sure I'm paying the bills. I make sure I'm paying the rent or mortgage or whatever. Make sure I'm, so you can never experience that again, because it was so traumatic to the point where you don't want to ever put yourself in a position to where you experience someone having that authority over you to be able to do that to you, right? So my mentality has always been like, okay, because I didn't want to ever go through that again, I chose to go to a shelter. I chose to be homeless. I chose certain things to avoid being in a position to where someone can do that to me again, because that's not a good feeling, right? It's like that example. So God, so it's like God has blessed me now to where I can provide a roof over my kids' head. You know what I mean? I don't have to ever worry about anyone throwing me out their home again, So it's like that. It's like, but imagine now, this is why I told God, like, God, why are you making me talk about this? Because I'm having a hard time with this myself. So it's like, now if God says, Stephanie, I'm going to bring you a husband who is going to, want to provide for you, want to put a roof over your head and the kids you guys have together, and as a family, yeah, I'll accept it. But deep down in my heart, I have a hard time accepting it, because it's like, no, I want to pay the bills. Like, I want to pay the bills. I want to do this. I want to do that. I know a lot of women are openly, or people in general, openly, yes, I need a man to take care of me. Yes. That's not my mentality. Because of the stuff that I've endured, the trauma, it's like, it's been imprinted in me to make sure I have my own. On top of that, from when I was little, my dad always said to me, Stephanie, make sure you have your own. Don't depend on anyone to, do anything. And make sure he was like, go to school, get a good education, make sure you do everything on your own. So when you do get married, you're not depending on your husband. You can provide for yourself as well, right? So it's not that I don't want that. It's just that I have a hard time accepting it, because of the stuff that happened to me, and even when I didn't give anyone reasonings to think that I just wanted stuff from them, I was accused a lot of just wanting things from people. You know what I mean? And this is where I said there was a lot of misunderstanding in general. A lot of misunderstandings where people will think something without even knowing you, and then accuse you of it. And because of that has imprinted in you to now you have this mentality of, I got to do everything by myself. Hence why I almost burnt off my eyelashes the other day, because I tried to light a barbecue grill by myself. I always try to do stuff by myself. I still have eyelashes. It's just not as long anymore. So what God is telling me is that he was basically saying that when a blessing comes from him, we have to accept it. And we cannot be afraid to accept the blessing that comes from him. Do you see what I'm saying? And the blessing that comes from him could be, you worked hard for something and you get it. Or, I'm going to bring this husband in your life to bless you. Or, I'm going to bring, you're homeless. I'm going to make this friend that I'm bringing in your life bless you with a place to stay. And, we have a hard time accepting sometimes God's blessings. And that's what God is trying to say. He was letting me know this morning that when I give you a blessing, you have to remember that the reason why I'm giving it to you is because you do deserve it. You do deserve it. And it's not that we don't think that we don't deserve it. It's more of, we know we deserve the blessings because we've all endured a lot. It's just the fear of allowing someone to have that power, or allowing someone to be in control of that blessing that God gives you. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because the experiences you guys may have had in the past were not good experiences. But let me tell you something. The blessings that God gives you is not the same as as what someone else is giving you in the past. Because listen, a blessing from God is not going to be thrown in your face. A blessing from God is not going to make you feel unworthy of it. See, that's the difference. And that's what we have to understand. The things that was given to us in the past, that was taken from us, that were thrown in our face, those were not from God. That was not from God. Because the real blessings from God, it's not going to be thrown in our faces. We're not going to be put down after we receive it. We're not going to feel guilty for accepting it after we accept it. Do you get where I'm coming from? And that's something that we have to know the difference between. We have to know the difference, right? And we cannot let the trauma and the triggers cause us to have, we can't let, sorry, I got cut off. We can't let doubt and fear cause us to, neglect and not accept and be afraid to accept the blessings that God has for us. Because we can't compare it. It's not the same. That's why I said there's a difference. Because anything that can be taken from you, thrown in your face, used against you, is not a blessing from God. You know what I mean? Because some people will do things just to say that they've done it for you. You see what I'm saying? And some people will do things just so you can't, have any type of say in how they should treat you, or any type of say in how, they should love you, or any type of say in anything. And I'm going to be straight up. Every single thing that has ever been given to me that I didn't have to work for, like I'm not talking about like my business. I'm talking about like if someone says, hey, Steph, I'm going to give you this gift. Every single thing that was given to me in my life has been either taken away from me from that same person because they got upset about something, or has been thrown in my face based on misunderstanding, right? And I had to but I had to learn the difference. And that's what I'm teaching you guys today. I had to learn the difference between a blessing that is from God and a blessing that is from not a blessing, but a blessing that is from God and something that is just given to you from a person who just wants to use it as a tool, or use it as a reason to mistreat you, as a reason to have control over you, as a reason to misjudge you, as a reason to, to feel better or more empowering than you. There's a big difference. And God is saying today, He wants us to learn the difference and to know the difference. And any blessing that comes in from Him is not going to come in and make us feel any type of way, is not going to mistreat us. Get where I'm coming from? Is not going to make us feel unworthy. So we have to now put, not even the pride, because I was like, God, is it really, I'm hot. I'm like, God, is it really pride? Do I have pride? And God was like, you don't have pride. What happened was you were hurt. You were hurt. So if somebody came to me and said today, Steph, I bought you a car, I would have a hard time accepting that car. Let me tell y'all something real. I bought my first car at the age of 30. And the first car that I bought was my dream car. And I waited that long because I wanted to work for my own car. I didn't want no one to buy me any car. You know what I mean? I wanted to buy my own car, right? And I felt so much better buying it for myself than having someone buy it for me. Do you get where I'm coming from? Or give it to me, or lend it to me, or whatever. And I felt like I didn't have to worry about someone taking it from me, because everything that was given to me was always taken away from me, right? And last night, God spoke to me and was like, you have to understand that what I'm going to give you, you deserve it. And I'm like, yes, I know I deserve it, God, but I have a hard time accepting it because of what's happened in my life. And God is saying, but there's a big difference. And like I said, that's what I want you guys to understand, is like, there is a big difference. Okay. And we can't let God's blessings go to waste. And we can't, punish in a way those who want to bless us, because God is using them because of what we have endured in our past. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is my lesson too. I got to work on this too, because, when hubby comes, I got to be able to accept the fact that he may want to be the man of the house. And there's nothing wrong with him being the man of the house, but I got to accept the fact that he does want to help, because I have a hard time accepting it. So I have to accept that and allow that to happen, right? And not always say I want to do everything on my own, because sometimes you can't do everything on your own. There's specific things that a man is supposed to do that a woman can't do, or a woman could do, but it's a lot easier for a man to do, right? So, and in general, this is not just for man and woman, it's in general. You know what I mean? You may have someone that wants to give you a $15,000 business grant and they want to bless you with it, but you have a hard, and God is actually using them to bless you, but you have a hard time accepting it because you may feel like you didn't work hard for it, or you may feel like, you know, you're unworthy of it, or because someone that gave you a loan in the past threw it in your face, or it's a situation where you have to understand that God is saying you are worthy of it. You know, and just because you may not have worked for this person to get the loan from this person does not mean that you don't deserve it. God is maybe rewarding you for something else you worked hard for. Do you get where I'm coming from? For all the stress and the hard work and all the effort you put in, you know, all these years and couldn't get it right, and then all of a sudden someone comes in and blesses you. That's what God's rewarding you for, all the hard work and dedication that you put in for years. And you know, so you have to be accepting of. It's like, imagine God giving you a blessing, you're like, God, I don't want it. That's insulting. That's very insulting, you know. So this is something that not just I have to work on, but we all have to work on. Okay. We all have to work on this. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I have some more messages. I'll post it soon. Bye.